Welcome to Apex Philosophy, the perfect place to find motivation. Be sure to subscribe and listen every day so you can become your best self. Please like and share the video to help inspire others. A key habit for success, #2023. Become a student of life. Daily learning is the one habit that will get you a successful life. If you think about it, learning is part of everything. Biology would tell us that through evolution and learning, our species was able to adapt and survive. Even in the modern world alongside technology, we find ways to adapt to unforeseen circumstances. The COVID-19 pandemic paved the way for online schooling. Learning never stops, and we can see how much the world needs it. We can't do without it. But learning doesn't have to be caged within the four walls of the classroom. It can also be part of anything you would like to do in life. You can learn how to be an artist. You can learn how to be a stock trader. You can learn anything if you're a student of life. So, what exactly is learning? According to Ambrosier et al., learning is a process that leads to change, which occurs as a result of experience and increases the potential for improved performance and future learning. This change may be in the form of a new level of knowledge. It can be a behaviour change. Whatever the change is, it's usually for the better. Being better usually equates to being happier. Growth is happiness. Did you know that happiness comes from learning new things? If you're not happy right now, it's probably because you're not growing. You see, humans need to grow to be happy. For example, imagine doing the same thing over and over again every day. It's like your life is in a loop. Doesn't that make you feel stuck? No matter how hard you try to deny it, you would want to learn. You will want to improve, and you would want that progress to be meaningful. If the work that you do matters, you feel awesome. It can be as simple as learning a new recipe. We don't need that in school, but it is part of life skills. The next time that you meet with your friends, you show off this wonderful cooking skill. You're happy at your new skill, and in the process also made others happy. But sometimes there are days when you don't feel that great. Life isn't always that simple and easy. Sometimes life feels too big, and it feels like you're stuck in a rut and not going anywhere. You're no longer learning, and it feels like there's no hope. That's right, not learning new things affects us this much. It leads us down this negative path. Some even go into a spiralling abyss into the feeling of being stuck. You might think, this is not where we want to be. This actually reminds me of what most working professionals feel like. Job satisfaction. Did you know that job satisfaction is also dependent on learning? Most jobs can feel routine, and again, this would easily make you feel stuck. But imagine being presented with the opportunity to be creative and to get to learn new things every day. Doesn't that sound more fun and exciting? A lot of people nowadays are trying an alternative path from the corporate world. Some would tell you it's risky. But do you really want to live your life being stuck in a 9-to-5 repetitive job? Do you want to be doing the work of 5 people with little compensation? It's hard to live life like that. And what's worse, the unhappiness slowly creeps in to the other aspects of your life. You might not be able to hang out with your friends as much because of your busy schedule. Every time you go home, the noise is just annoying you because you had to bring home extra work. The stress finally catches up and you get sick for a month. And again, you think, this is not where we want to be. If you feel stuck, there's a great chance that you haven't learned anything recently. So Ask yourself, if this isn't the right place for you, then where do you want to go? Regardless of money or what other people would tell you, ask yourself what you could start learning. Try to examine your own life right now. Examine your life. You can actually escape if you choose to. You have the power to change your schedule so that you can focus on learning something new. And don't tell me that you don't have time for it. Everyone has time for things that are important to them. You just need to make it important. So, schedule your growth. Since not everyone wants to leave their stable 9 to 5, that might be you, there are other ways to incorporate learning into your routine. For example, you can make art as a stress reliever after work. You can also try to put in some extra effort in learning a skill over the weekends. You can try out skateboarding or surfing. Again, you are learning new things for yourself. This isn't for anyone else, and no one else has to benefit but you. Additionally, what you can do is surround yourself with people who are also trying to learn something new. Surround yourself with the proper energy. Remember, your learning environment must also be conducive to learning. For example, how do you expect to concentrate on your new martial arts move when your dog won't stop trying to join in? Try enrolling in a dojo or a martial arts school that support your training. Also, things take time. Development takes time. Don't be too hard on yourself if you ever get sidetracked. Getting sidetracked. Getting sidetracked is part of the process. Not all progress is linear. It has ups and downs, and it has multiple paths, some longer than others. Sometimes we choose the wrong things to learn. For example, you might want to try to learn how to code, but end up not enjoying it as much as you hoped. You can always try another skill to focus on. Trial and error is part of the school of life. But the most important thing is that you never stop trying new things. Also, don't blame yourself too much for learning things late in life. Understand that you weren't aware before now that learning should be a part of your habits. It's never too late or too early to learn something. Everything is as it should be. For example, did you know that Oprah was fired from her first talk show? It was important because that's what led her to being the Oprah. So don't worry about getting sidetracked. You're fine. Challenge yourself again. But you also shouldn't be complacent. Challenge yourself again. Be willing to try out new things a second time if the first time didn't go as well as you hoped. Here are a few easy steps on how to do it. First, try to figure out what medium you love to use most. For example, if you would like to learn art, do you want to learn the traditional way or digital art? Some people would find themselves learning traditional art first before shifting to digital. But maybe you're more a stick to one style kind of person, and that's also completely fine. Whatever the case may be, it's best to start with just one speciality. Another example could be trying to practice your writing skills. If you love writing stories, do you prefer to write on pen and paper or just type away on your computer? Knowing your own medium allows you some sense of control. Additionally, you are conditioning yourself that when it is time to learn this new skill, you go back to this medium. Now, it would be easier for you to write down your thoughts for the next epic chapter in the notebook you bought just last week. I've even heard a story wherein the author can only write on his magical typewriter. Some people are like that. Their learning would often depend on the medium they have. That's perfectly fine, because you should stick to whatever works for you. This strategy also adds up to building a conducive environment. And that is the next step. Find yourself a good environment for better concentration. Try to work on a desk or on your kitchen counter. Pick one workplace and stick with it. Again, it's part of building the learning habit. Try to avoid your bedroom or your bed in particular. This might harm your sleep pattern since it sends off the message that you are working and not sleeping, or vice versa. Also, try your best to erase all distractions and temptations. For example, you can never learn anything if you just spend your time scrolling through social media. If you can't do away with your phone, at least click on the Do Not Disturb mode or mute all notifications for an hour or so. With this, you'll learn things effectively in no time. There is one last step, and that is to learn consistently. Learning consistently. The main idea of this video is to emphasise how we should make learning a consistent habit. For that to happen, it should occur every day for the next 21 days. You don't have to have big goals in the first months. All you need to do is learn one new thing every day. There are 3 different ways to do this. First, you can subscribe to a challenge. I've seen some of those 30-day challenges on Pinterest. It can be a photography challenge. It could even be exercise. All you need to do is tick off one challenge per day. It's simple and it's already planned out for you. The next way you can do it is to make an outline of the main lessons you need to learn. For example, if you wish to learn more about making art, then you can start with the basics, such as colour theory, shading, background, etc. All artists have gone through this stage. And believe me, most of them sucked on their first try. After making your own lesson plan, try to divide the work into small segments for every day. Let's say for colour theory, you can try learning the basics in the first week and then apply it every day for the rest of the month. Day by day, you will see the difference in the level of your learning. You can even practice it while you head to work, while judging the colours of the shops you pass by. Do they have complementary colours, or does the owner lack the basic knowledge of colour theory? Try to apply what you've learned in any way that you can, and do this every day. Another alternative way to do it is to enrol yourself in a formal class. Now, I suggested this last mainly because of its disadvantages. First, you will need money to enrol yourself. Next, you're not really sure if you'll have a great or effective teacher. However, what you will get is a sense of commitment. Since you already paid for the class, you might as well get your money's worth and go learn. Another downside of enrolling is that you have no control over the schedule. Some classes might not occur every day for a week and are only available during weekends. It does have another advantage, which is sharing the burden of learning with peers. The previously introduced ways of learning rely more on self-discipline and determination. But enrolling in a class gives you a sense of teamwork, and you would even get to socialise. And more often than not, you would learn more tips from your peers than from your actual lessons. The power of compounding. So, let's have a recap. What happens if you did this every day for the next year? In economics, or for those stock traders, they have this term called compounding. Compounding, by definition, is the process in which assets' earnings from either capital gains or interest are reinvested to generate additional earnings. In simple terms, if you put the money you gain from investment into the same investment over and over again, the rewards become higher. It doesn't matter how small the progress is, The main idea is that things add up to it more and more over time. The same can be said with learning. Even if you learn something unessential, such as cooking. So you spend the first week learning one new recipe. I know it's only one, but you are started, and you are starting to build momentum. Imagine now if you learn another recipe the next week, and then another the week after that. If you learn a recipe each week for the next year, you will have learned 52 recipes. And imagine now if you had practiced what you'd learned as well. And what's even coolest about this is sometimes you only need to master a skill, and the recipe just becomes a chef's twist on something you already know. In addition, your knowledge is the only thing that no one can take away from you. Do you ever wonder why companies are so keen on hiring people with experience? It's because there are a lot of things you learn from experience alone that you can't from formal lessons. You'll learn how to solve actual problems. But again, it all boils down to learning something new. Conclusion. A habit of learning is the only habit you need on your path to success. No matter what year it is, learning will always be the best habit. And so you must schedule your learning. There are different ways to do this. The most important thing is that you are constantly learning. Your knowledge will compound over time, and eventually you'll be a force to be reckoned with. So, go out and start learning something new today. Thank you for listening. Comment below and tell us when you will be setting aside time to learn, how you are going to learn, and what will you be learning. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.